on matters around climate change, then maybe then it's for their parishioners to take those matters up with them and to challenge them on those areas of their thinking and teaching.
Recently, some of us wrote an open letter to Manchester City Council on its climate change actions, calling for the council to engage in 9 different things. And part of the response we got was, "Oh, you mustn't tell people how to behave." Anyway, one of the demands and one of the requests in that those 9 actions was around this notion of a low carbon culture. Manchester City Council worked with other stakeholders in 2009, came up with the Climate Change Action Plan. One of the 2 headline goals is the creation of a low carbon culture. And we now ask everyone that we interview, what does the term low carbon culture mean to you, and how would we know if we were living in it?
Yeah. I think low carbon culture is a very clear and very, very powerful phrase. There's a lovely saying that's quite popular nowadays. It says, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast." And I think we have to recognise, unless we change culture, then we won't ever have the strategies in place that will deliver the outcomes. But culture is very hard to change, and so whether it's more widely when I'm engaging with the church about the culture within the church, or with the culture in society around Greater Manchester, it's identifying where are those areas where we can go with the grain of the culture of a particular city or a particular community, to accentuate the positive aspects of that culture and pray that in aid of the strategies that we then want to put in place. And so we're looking at things in the culture of Manchester, that Manchester has always been, as the first ever industrialised city in the world, I think Manchester has always liked to see itself as cutting edge. And so if we want a culture around being low carbon, we have to demonstrate that we're appealing to that aspect of Manchester society. Manchester has always been a culture of embracing diversity and welcoming difference. And so I think we can work with that and say low carbon is a new and a different way of being, and appeal to that openness within Manchester society to explore and to welcome different ways of living and being. So I think there's a number of ways in which the culture of Manchester, built up over recent centuries, can be brought to bear to then produce what you might call a low carbon strategy. But the culture is important, but you need to go with what the underlying culture is. You won't just change the culture overnight.
I really like culture eats strategy for breakfast.